we are the brave. We'll fight you in name, the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save, this land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say, just that star, spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the brave, and the
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're watching Maxspeed TV.
chill, chill, hey, hey, chill. Let's go. I was born to kill it. I was meant to win. I am down and willing, so I will find a way. It took a minute, now it didn't happen right away. When it get hot in the kitchen, you decide to stay. That's how it winners made. Stick a fork in the hater on my dinner plate. I walk into the fire like it's just a bit of flames. I switch my style up, watch the money pile up. I'ma get rich or die trying, want me switch lanes. I'm always getting better, I'ma be on 5th place. On this one, then 4th on the next. 3rd, 2nd, 1st, she report with the best. She showing love, give me all the raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, jump, knock, knock, let me in. Huff and puff and blow the house down. Raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, jump, knock, knock, let me in. Huff and puff and blow the house down. I do it for the love, they perform for the checks, and I still get more. They be bored by the rest. I done put the work in, wasn't born in success. See the storm, it affects the performance. But I dance in the rain and the thunder, the drums. So I keep going hard, I won't stop till I'm done. From the bottom to the top, I'm the one. I can drop in a month, I'll be back at the top. Raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, jump, knock, knock, let me in. Off and puff and blow the house down. Raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, jump, knock, knock, let me in. Off and puff and blow the house down. Yeah, we blow the house down. Yeah, we blow the house down. Big moves will shake the ground. All the greats who came before us, we about to make them proud. We've got to make this count. Take the ball and raise it now. Make noise, you're crazy loud. It's all moment, let me hear you shout. Don't give up, we can turn it round. We got the fire, we burn it down. Then we'll pop champagne at the back of the club. Then we're back with a sweat, tears back with a blood. How to get it out of mud, kinda like Predator. Get to the chopper, pockets getting fatter, so she call me Big Bomber. Raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, jump, knock, knock, let me in. Puff and puff and blow the house down. Raw energy. Don't stop, go ahead, get it in. Jump, jump, knock, knock, let me in. Puff and puff and blow the house down. Raw energy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Maxspeed TV. Steve Lane up in the booth, as usual, for the OP Saturday Night Unlimited Buttkicker Series right here on Maxspeed TV. Once again, we are back at iRacing Superspeedway for race number 2 in the round of 16. We will go ahead and get to our points list here. We'll get this stuff out of the way. As we pull up our standings. Come on. Of course, it's going to do its normal, not wanting to work for me tonight type stuff. Payson Lindsay right now sitting at the top with the win last week. That's going to get him locked into the round of 8. Adam Kilday at +10. Gabe Butler at +9. Stephen Miles at +8. Anthony English at +5. Rick Seabrands at +4. Andrew Zanto at +4. Andy Brigante +1. And then just below the cut line, you see Vicente Guerrero at -1 below the cut line. Everett Lane at -2. Jimmy Reynolds at -5. Dana Shepard at -6. Christopher Jordan at -9. Lynn McNeese at -12. Rick Sanchez at -15. And, of course, you see Mark Mann at -321,254. Anthony English giving Mark a hard time there. It's actually -33 because he did not make the race last week. So it's just Anthony's little way of sticking it to Mark there a little bit, gouging him. So that's what we are currently looking like on our points. Now, speaking about what happened last week, again, Payson Lindsay, your winner, Jeff Crosby Sr. in second, Adam Kilday third. That is Stacy. I think it's Andrew Stacy there in a fourth, and Gabe Butler rounding out your top 5. As we get ready to close out our practice, I say we got about 8 minutes left. The session got up a little bit late, but we are at iRacing Superspeedway here in Parts Unknown America. So glad everybody is joining us. Don't forget to go over to Josh and Jeremy's JM Squared at the Victory X Financial. They have 500 laps at Bristol. So we'll see if they can make it the full 500 or if it's going to be a wreck fest. I don't know how many cautions they've had so far, but that link is pinned to the top of the chat. So if you go over there, be sure tell them I sent you over there to say hey and wish them guys good luck. But tonight here at iRacing Superspeedway, we only have 84 laps for the second round, or second race of the round. And then we will be, let me go back down here, see where we'll be at next week. We will be at Atlanta for race number 3. And then after that, we will cut to the top 8. We'll be at Talladega, then Daytona 08. For those 2 races of the round of 8, then we'll cut to the round, the championship 4. For 1 race, winner take all, Daytona. Night race week after next on 9/6. Looking kind of through our field right now, it looks like we're going to have about 24 drivers right now that has entered the session. Of course, got to give a shout out to Vicente Guerrero for the sponsor tonight. This is the Bits Service and Repair at 250. Again, sponsored by Vicente Guerrero. Oh. Well, like I said, Eric, if they can stay green, then that 500 laps will go fairly quickly. Of course, I wouldn't want to broadcast it. That's still, to me, even at Bristol, way too many laps. And again, from my understanding, they've been having quite a few cautions over there, so we'll see what happens. Well, about 5.5 minutes left of practice here. God, I hope not. Now I will show you we can get on one of the cars here. They do have a playoff. Turn that down just a little bit. As Anthony English, well, I guess he decided he didn't want to play no more. As you can see, the windshield banner of Vicente Guerrero's car will have the Buttkicker OP playoff driver banner there. So, as Anthony English is still on his roof or side. Let's see. Rick does not have one, even though he has the P by his name. He is a playoff driver. Jeff Crosby Jr., a playoff driver as well. Jimmy Reynolds right there. He has the OP playoff driver. Trying to see if anybody else has one. Mark Mann has the P by his name. Rick Seabrands does as well. Of course, Andy Brigante, he has the big Lamborghini Chevrolet. That's kind of a conflict of interest. But hey, whatever works, that bright silver car. We get about 3 minutes left of practice. We'll go ahead and pull our pre-race analytics up here. Going to be a cool night tonight, 65-degree air temperature, 0% humidity, partly cloudy, 2-mile-an-hour winds. Of course, this is a 3-mile track, or 2.95, right at 3 miles, and a 71-degree track temperature. It says we are in Concord, USA. For the iRacing Superspeedway. I just call it parts unknown because this is a fictional track that iRacing has put. You know, Eric, it very well could be. You know, as we get wound down here, looks like Anthony English still down there on the wall. We see Rick Sanchez drop it in there. They just advanced the session. So we will be getting into qualifying here. They do have 1 lap of qualifying. We'll see what happens. Again, so big shout out to Vicente Guerrero, Event Service and Repair. We'll try to visit with Vince here in just a few minutes. You know, it's the banking is pretty severe in the corners as we see Anthony. I don't know what he was doing coming off a pit road there. But Andrew Zonto is out on the track. Everett Lane, Jimmy Reynolds, Andy Brigante, Jeff Crosby Sr., Thomas Lockwood, Dave Hunt, and James Mayer. I think the transition from the corners to the straights, even though the straightaways has like a 3-degree banking, we'll go ahead and we'll go on board here. As you can see on the front straightaway here, the back straightaway, the incline, the banking of the straightaways. So yes, there very well could be some tire wear, you know, especially with the speeds. We're going to be hitting speeds right now. We'll go ahead and show this. We're on board with James Mayer by himself at 225 miles an hour. So you can figure probably 235, maybe 240 with the draft. So you can see that is not just the camera lane. That is, well, it depends on where you're at on the track too, Eric. You notice right there on the low side, there's that little bump going into the turn, and then there'll be one at the exit of the turn. Let's go ahead and get our qualifying times up here. Jimmy Reynolds currently in that top spot at a 47.13. James Mayer at a 47.14. Dante at a 47.15. Anthony English with a 47.14 as well. So he is just right there with Jimmy, probably by 1,000th of a second. Rick Sanchez jumping into that P3 spot with a 47.15, 47.14 actually. Starts going down this goofy stuff that it does with my tower. Nick Wee, we was on board with him for just a second. He is in 11th. Dave Hunt currently in 12th. But Gabe Butler out-qualified Adam Kilday, Stephen Miles, as well as Dana Shepard. Dana Shepard putting down a quick time at a 47.16. That's going to be good enough for P4 to start the race. Right now, Jimmy Reynolds is going to be your pole sitter. We'll have to get with Jimmy and ask him about the tire wear, Eric. And see if that is going to be an issue as we go back. Now, Gabe Butler throwing down the gauntlet. 100th of a second off of Jimmy's time at a 47.11. Now, those guys are teammates, so you can probably expect them guys to work together here. Because we got about 10 seconds left of qualifying. Well, that's weird. It knocked Gabe completely out of the qualifying. And it's going to put Jimmy Reynolds. Nope, there he is. So Gabe Butler will be your pole sitter. Let's go ahead and bring Gabe down here to the broadcast channel. Gabe, Steve up in the booth, buddy. Congratulations on getting that pole position tonight here at iRacing Superspeedway. Brother, how's things feeling? How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Car feels all right. We'll see how it goes with the tires and all that good stuff in the pits. You know how it is here, man. This place is crazy.
Well, that was a question that we had out in chat. Is tire wear going to be a factor? And, you know, it is a super speedway, but the inclines, I believe, does eat the tires up a little bit.
Yeah, especially the right rear, man. I mean, the car really loads on that right rear. So I know guys are going to take some chances, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm taking tires and 4 when I can get them.
Well, you know, this is the second race of the round of 16. You are a playoff driver. What are you going to have to do tonight to get yourself locked in and win this race tonight, bud?
just trying to avoid the carnage, between the crazy speeds here. The wrecks are spectacular. And if you got a tow, you're really in trouble because it's such a huge track. And, by the time you get back to the pits, you could have shaved twice.
Yeah, I mean, even at like Daytona or Talladega, you're looking at 2.5 to 3 minute tow.
Right.
Here, you're looking, geez, I
4
think
minutes.
somewhere 4.5 to 5, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 minutes depending on where you're at on the track. The old tow truck ain't got the speeds to keep up here.
Well, that's true. Well, good luck out there. One more question, real quick, Gabe. I know you was out here in practice running in the draft. Didn't quite catch the speeds or the laps you guys are going to be getting on your fuel. Can you tell me what the speeds are in the draft and how many laps you guys are getting in your pit window?
247, which is insane.
Crazy.
And probably you can stretch it to 13 and a half, but I think most guys will probably go on a 12 lap window, I think.
All right. Well, so we're going to go ahead and call it 11 to 13. But
yeah.
Awesome job. Congratulations on the pole, Gabe. We will catch you later, my friend.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
You too. All right. Oh, yep. I got him in the right room. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to our Maxspeed TV. Get that off of there. Starting grid here tonight. Gabe Butler on the pole, Jimmy Reynolds to his outside. Row number 2, Anthony English, Rick Sanchez. Row number 3, James Mayer, Dana Shepherd. Row number 4, Andy Regate, Stephen Miles. Starting row number 5 will be Adam Gilday and Bubba Whittingham. Starting row number 6, Jeff Crosby Sr. and Everett Lane. Row number 7, Andrew Zonto, Thomas Lockwood. Row number 8, Nick Wing, Dave Hunt. Row number 9, Brandon Pfeiffer and Ron Walters. Row number 10, Vicente Guerrero and Jeff Crosby Jr. Row number 11 is going to be Mark Mann and Chris Jordan. Row number 12, Andrew Schroeder and Douglas Johnson. So that's going to round out your 25-car field. Rick Seabrands. Yeah, he's going to be your 25th driver. So here we go, folks, getting ready to go green with that Chevy Land green flag to start the race. Inside that restart zone, Chevy Land green flag out. Here we go, folks. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Racing here at iRacing Superspeedway. Getting the playoff race number 2 underway as Gabe Butler takes off with Jimmy Reynolds to his outside. Screaming already. We are looking at 130 mile an hour range. Coming down that front straightaway into turn 1 and 2. And those cars are just flat out booking it. I say turn 3 and 4. If we come back down to the start finish line, that lap. And you can tell that they are spreading out a little bit back here. Oh, the 90, Ron Walters having issues there. Going up close to that outside wall. Got to be careful of, already. That volume was a little bit loud, folks. I try to adjust it during practice, and it just was not really, I thought I had it low enough, but it really wasn't, not really much. A lot of guys going on. 38 of Thomas Lockwood, the 53 of Dave Hunt. We're trying to go 3 wide. Butler, Anthony English getting a good push out to the front again there. We're Jimmy Reynolds through the door to door with the 95. Zonzo making a move there to the outside of this 6 of Bubba Winningham. Now he is making this thing. Oh, Andrew Zonto. And that's going to bring out a caution, folks. Andrew Zonto losing it right there. Into that corner as he bounces off the wall. Take a look at this. You see Andrew out on that outside. And again, you're going to see some net code, but that wasn't net code. He got loose and then hard into the outside wall. Yeah, but they're going to have to start lifting eventually. But Andrew takes a hard hit, though. Of course, Andrew is still using a controller. So, again, he don't have the feel, but he is so good. And I'm not saying anything wrong about that. He is just so good at using that I know he's tried to use a steering wheel before, and he just says it doesn't have the same feel. Which I don't know how he does it with a controller. I couldn't do it. I tried it one time, just like I tried VR one time. It ain't happening. It looks like he had to use, or he used his fast repair already. Probably a lot of damage. Well, let's go ahead and bring him up here. Well, Andrew, buddy, rough start, man. It looked like you just may have overcorrected there a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what was up. I got loose going 3 wide, and it just happened out of nowhere. It just was snappy loose. It was like the first time when we ran these cars here.
Well, from what we went back and looked at the replay, it looked like you were, in the middle of the turn. The rear end of your car just kind of jumped, and then we seen your wheels turn to the right, trying to counter steer, and it just sent you straight up into the wall, man. It looks like you've already had to use your fast repair.
Yeah, I had to. It sucks using it this early, being in the playoffs and everything. It was definitely off strategy now, but now it's just sitting in the back, and hopefully we can get a lap 11 and getting out front.
All right. Good luck, Andrew. Man, sorry about your luck there, brother. Hope you have better throughout the race.
Thank you.
We'll get him back down there to team number 4. Well, while we got time, because we're going to have a lot of time, I want to bring him up here because I want to get his opinion. Mark, how are you going to overcome being 3 million points down?
I saw that. I don't think that is overcomeable.
I think that was Anthony having a little fun with you. Actually, you're only 33 points.
Oh my gosh.
But hey, you never know. A win can lock you in, dude.
That is true. The problem is did I miss a race? I don't even remember.
Yeah, you missed the first race of the playoffs. You were at the fair.
That's right. I was at the fair. Had to go to the fair. But I didn't even know I was in the playoffs anyway. But that's all good. If I'm a million points out of making it to the next round, that's okay. We'll give it our best shot.
Hey, you're out there having fun, brother, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I am. I'm having fun with the guys in channel, and you know, look forward to the rest of this race. See what happens here.
Well, good luck, my friend. We just wanted to visit with you and give you a little ribbon over those 3 million points behind. But
yeah, it's not gonna be hard to overcome that tonight, but we're gonna give it our best shot.
you get the win. You can overcome it real easy.
Well, yes, and this is a wild card race, so you never know at IRSS. You just got to keep that car clean. You know, we just had a single car spin there, and that definitely wasn't the big one, but we definitely are going to have a big one or two here.
You can almost guarantee it.
We get a green flag pit stop, though, and it could really separate this field, and we could go green from there because it's not a huge field tonight. I'm just hoping to get on and off pit road safely.
Well, good luck, my friend. We will catch up with you soon.
Sounds good, man.
All right. Well, we just heard from Mr. Martin, man. Right now, we're going to get to our leaders, though. In that first spot is still Gabe Butler, Anthony English in second, Rick Sanchez in third, Jimmy Reynolds fourth, Jeff Crosby Jr. fifth, Stephen Miles in sixth, Bubba Winningham seventh, Dave Hunt in eighth, Jeff Crosby Sr. in ninth, Dana Shepard rounding out your top 10. The Chevyland green flag comes back out once again. Here we go on the left. Dave Butler on the inside, on the outside. Finish line. Dave Butler going to opt to stay down on that low side. Anthony English trying to get some help from the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds. Get pushed out to the front. Push the 33. That is Jeff Crosby Jr. 133. Anthony does get the run and gets down on the bottom with Gabe Butler. Now you've got Jeff Crosby Jr. Jimmy Reynolds out on the outside. Gabe Butler jumping out there. He's like, no, you're not taking my top. Butler does get the push around. He gets back out in front of the 44 of English. English gets a little bit dicey. Oh, netco into Jimmy Reynolds. Oh, we got one upside down, rolling down. That is Jeff Crosby Sr. He took a tumble. You're going to see this. That is going to be some major net code here, folks. Of course, iRacing Superspeedway. I don't even think they would have touched because Anthony was coming back down. And you could just see the 17 get loose, pancakes the wall. There's the 15. That is Jeff Crosby Sr. He gets tagged twice, 3 times. And that sent him up and over on his lid. I thought he went tumbling a little more than that hard on that inside wall. And all you could do at that point, gets hit there by the 13, trying to avoid everything else. It looks like most everybody else made it through that. Jeff Crosby Sr. and Jimmy Reynolds taking the brunt of that crash. Looks like Jimmy Reynolds towed to the pits. Let me look and see. No, it looked like maybe he went ahead and drove it into the pits. It looked like Jimmy did enter under his own power, so. Right now, Vicente Guerrero has taken over that top spot. Gabe Butler in second. And Stephen Miles in a third. Anthony English fourth. Looks like Stephen is going to go ahead and let these guys get around him. Rick Sanchez moving into that fourth spot. Stephen Miles in fifth. Bubba Winningham sixth. Dave Hunt seventh. Everett Lane in eighth. Ron Walters ninth. And Brandon Pfeiffer rounding out your top 10. Well, hang tight, folks. We're going to hear from our green flag sponsor right here on Maxspeed TV at Chevy Land in Shreveport, Louisiana. And looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle, go to ChevyLand.com for their end of summer sales. Do everything online from browsing to financing. Of course, if you can't make it to Shreveport, Louisiana, they will deliver into the lower 48 states. Hang tight, folks. We will be right back.
Sizzling summer savings are yours for the taking at North Louisiana's #1 dealer, Chevyland. Save now before the price adjustments kick in. Get up to $9,000 off MSRP on select new Silverado models or incredible 0% financing on select new Chevrolet vehicles. And the Chevyland Advantage, 12 months, no charge, scheduled maintenance. Get the best deals at North Louisiana's #1 dealer, Chevyland. Your Silverado headquarters. Online at Chevyland.com.
Welcome back. As the lights on the pace car is still on, Daniel post slag out there saying Dana Shepherd rocking an old paint tonight. I believe she is. Where is Dana at? He's rocking the old, well, the Fat Chicks. That's he's still got damage. Did not want to use his fast repair. So he is going to be losing a little bit of dirty air. Fat Chicks Shop and Accessories. Depth Racing. Yeah, Clear Hood. That's what we're going to call it, Clear Hood. You know, it's funny. He's in a Chevrolet. But looking at the engine compartment there, the distributor is up front, which is, well, that's a Ford engine. Oh, there you go. All right, that pace car is fixing to dive off down the pit road. People getting back. Green flag racing here. Lap 12 of 84. In that restart zone, Chevy green flag out. Lindsay on the loud, great jump off the rest of the field. But they are coming up behind him very quickly. 88 Gabe Butler, Rick Sanchez on the outside, Anthony English. Oh, Vicente moving way up to the top. That's going to put Anthony English there in first. Stephen Miles right behind him. Gabe Butler, Rick Sanchez, Rick Rat. They can move to the outside there. It's not enough to catch up with that low line right now. They drop it all the way back. Everybody's still on the lead lap, so we still have 25 cars on the lead lap. Of course, their fuel tanks are on the hose. Enough to get to about the how their pit strategies they want to work. Oh, we got some action going on right here. We're going to have another wreck. Looks like Ron Walters involved. Nick Wing getting caught up in it as well. Let's see what happened here. As we see the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr. getting sandwiched up into that wall. It happened right there with Ron Walters and Brandon Pfeiffer. As they're coming into a turn here, you see Ron jump up and, oh, Brandon moving up. Ron's already loose at this point. Andy Brigante right there. Ron trying to correct it. Up into Brigante and Jeff Crosby Jr. Of course, Brandon Pfeiffer, he's going back down the track. Woo, misses, splits those cars right there. Yes, Daniel, Chris Jordan is in here. He is in the 78 machine. Looks like he had got caught up into the wall. The 85 of Adam Kilday. The 17 of Jimmy Reynolds. Rick Seabrands trying to get it locked down, and he slides back down to the track with these big high banks. I think Chris Jordan went up high, got up into the wall to keep from getting into anybody. Let's go ahead and go back live here as these guys are coming down pit road. 13 of Andy Brigante, the 85 of Adam Kilday having to back up. Pretty much everybody came down pit this time. We'll go ahead and take a look at Chris Jordan. He's in that Mission 22 car. 78 machine there. Let's get a good look at his car. Depth Racing graphics. Kind of like that ghost camouflage paint that's going on there. You can kind of see it. That's going to put Gabe Butler back out front as your leader. Anthony English second. Rick Sanchez third. Stephen Miles in a fourth. Everett Lane in fifth. Dave Hunt in sixth. Bubba Winningham seventh. Doug Johnson in eighth. Thomas Lockwood in ninth. Thomas Lockwood coming back down pit road, as well as Jeff Crosby Sr., Zente Guerrero, James Marizanto, Schroeder, Seabrand's man. Said Ron Walters crashed. Did he crash coming off of pit road? He loses it coming around the corner. Trying not to get a black flag, but he'll end up getting one. We are back alive. Stephen Miles in first. Sanchez in second lane. That's Everett Lane in third lane. Drop 5. And I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight for race number 2 of the round of 16. Of course, we will have one more race in the round of 16. Then we'll cut to our top eight drivers. Next week's race will be at Atlanta, sponsored by none other than C Brands. Jeff Crosby Jr. shows him now a lap down. So he will be our only car a lap down. Pace car down to the safety of pit road. Chevy Lane, green flag back out once again. Here we go. Rick Sanchez looking good. Jumping on the restart. Out that 8 of miles. 803 behind Sanchez. Trying to get something going here. Like to see a good green flag run here. So these guys get some green flag pit stops. A lot of shimmying and shaking going on. These guys are going to the corners. The 33 and the 15 both running that Skull Bandit on the I'm sorry, he's running a Skull Callaway golf paint scheme. Jeff Crosby Jr. Skull Bandit. Now Everett Lane making a move to that second line in front of Sanchez. And he's 142 miles an hour. That's going to be a twofer right there for Sanchez and Lane. Comes Stephen Miles with the run by himself. Here comes the 53 up on. Going to get into the back of that 388 of Johnson right there in the mix. Those 6 of Santo. 6 of Winningham. I see 245. Lockwood and Guerrero hit that 245 mark. That is just unreal. The speeds that they are getting in these cars that is track. Now, Daniel, I gotta ask, aren't you part of Team Depth? I didn't call the race or been in a race there, but we're visited with you guys over at Depth, which Depth Graphics, folks, is what I'm talking about. Now Miles and Hunt trying to get a run on that outside to see if they can clear that bottom line. But Everett and Sanchez not going to make it easy on them. Talking it up and everybody's like, can't hear you. Everett now, he has got about 35 miles back out on that second lane. Trying to get something going to get around. Bubba Winningham moving up a little bit on that corner entry. Again, that big bump, just hard jump. Let's go ahead and go on there. loud. Bubba getting a little bit squirrely there. As we go on board with Everett Lane, we're going to see that bump right there. Doesn't really jar his steering wheel as much, so some of these guys will adjust that in their forward speed back, so there's not a lot of steering wheel movement when they hit those bumps going into the corners. Back out here, Stephen Miles, Dave Hunt. Now we got some more cars. That's the 95 of James Mayer and the 44 of Anthony English, 38 of Thomas Lockwood, all on that second lane. Trying to get enough of a run on that second lane. Now, wasn't able to do it on that pass by them. Now, Stephen Miles does have just a slight edge. Again, going into that corner, that second lane is losing momentum. So I'm betting that this lower lane is going to be like lower line. Might be the line to run. Bubba Winningham right on the bumper of that 5 of Sanchez. At 26 of 84. Let me pull this up. They've been out here 10 laps already. We're going to keep an eye as Dave Hunt going to the third track. Start seeing guys jockeying down yeah, there goes Miles down on the inside line with James Mayer. Anthony English down there as well. Not seeing any takers coming down pit road right now. We do have trying to get David Shepard back here by himself. Looks like they lost the grab. Trying to stay on the lead lap. Come down the back straightaway. On the 24 lane. That's going to clear the 8 of Stephen Miles. He drops it all the way down at the bottom. There goes James Mayer down the bottom line as well. Looks like Timmy Reynolds, Adam Kelly, Dana Shepard, all down pit road. So we're going to see some green flag pit stops here. Come down this back straightaway. Probably want to see again green flag pit stop starting. We'll see what happens with Stephen Miles and Everett Lane as they come around turn number 4. Well, there they go. Stephen Miles leading this group down. That is Miles, Lane, Sanchez, Santo, English, Wing, Gante, Jordan, Piper, Johnson, who Johnson was into the pit, inside pit wall. We get back up to the front though. James Mayer, Bubba Winningham, Thomas Lockwood, Jeff Crosby Sr. Going to see about making it around here, coming out of turn number 4. We start seeing guys getting ready to come down pits. There comes this second group. Want to keep an eye on this. Guys are really on the brakes hard. That's Bubba Winningham. Oh, Bubba hard into that inside wall. Let's watch Bubba here to see what happened. If he just hard on the brakes coming in. Does he lock them up? He just starts getting sideways. Oh, Dave Hunt lifts him up. That sends Bubba into the wall. The bad thing is these guys are running in the same room. And then Dave tags him again as he hits the inside wall once again. Somehow, Seabrands slides right through. Dana Shepherd right there, but Dana is a lap down. So Dana did use his fast repair. Does have his hood back on the car. Right on the bumper of Shepherd. Sanchez in the second, Santo third, Elaine fourth, Vicente Guerrero in the fifth, Mayor sixth, Schroeder in seventh, Mark Mann up here in ninth, eighth, Seabrands in 11th, Lee 4th, 12th, Lockwood in 13th, Senior, that's Crosby Senior in 16th, Bubba Winningham back here in 17th, Johnson in 18th, Kilday in 19th, Reynolds in 20th. Again, they are showing, well, if the lead group catches up with them, they will be a lap down. Dana Shepherd, he is really trying to not to go 2 laps down. Let's take a look here at our driver telemetry. We're on Gabe Butler right now, coming out of the corner, 240, 241, and this is going to end. And these cars are so fast tonight. Yeah, we were talking about this at the pre-race. These speeds, when a wreck happens, it's going to be very, very light. 5 miles an hour. And we're going to start seeing some 2-wide action back here. That is Cassanto looking to the second lane as Everett Lane back down the line. Comes to 95 of James Mayer, 48 of Andrew Schroeder. Andrew trying to avoid that big bump. Santo having some problems there. Thinking about jumping down to that low line, but decided to stay where he's at. He does have that 95 of Mayer right behind him. Yeah, I do have that one volume up a little high. We'll try to turn it down just a little bit. That should be a little bit better because the engines let me know if that's too low or not, or if I need to turn it down a little bit more. Well, Eric, can you give us an update on Josh and Jeremy's race as we hit lap 36 of 84? We're going to go ahead and step aside and, well, we're going to do a little bit of crank it up. Sights and sounds of the iRacing Superspeedway right here on Maxspeed TV. And we are back, folks. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Get that camera set up because there's really not a camera pack for iRacing Superspeedway. Well, Eric, I'm going to tell you this. It was, as we start seeing some green flag pit stops again, that is Stephen Miles, Anthony English, Rick Sanchez, Andrew Zonto, all coming down pit road. Bubba Winningham, Jeff Crosby Sr., Doug Johnson, Adam Kilday, Ron Walters coming down pit road as well. But yeah, here in Oklahoma, it was 96 degrees, felt like 105, about 39 or 49% humidity. And man, you couldn't even go outside without breaking a sweat. That's what I was telling some friends of mine earlier. I mean, it's this time of year, you can't even go outside and check your mail without having to come back in, take a shower, and change your underwear because you're so swampy at that point. So Everett Lane and Vicente Guerrero coming down pit road, as well as Rick Seabrands. Ooh, I don't know. Rick may have got a black flag on that. It's Thomas Lockwood and Gabe Butler down on pit road as well. Here comes Dave Hunt. Dave trying to get her shut down. He's got them locked up, does get it slowed down. Ron Walters still down on pit road. Now here comes James Mayer. Golly, that transition into pit road is so brutal. Yeah, Belva's right. I've been stationed. I was stationed in Texas for a little while when I was down there for training. I was at Fort Sam Houston, Belva, for about 10 weeks, and it was very, very humid. Well, Andrew Schroeder is going to lead this group off of pit road. James Mayer right now in second. Mark Mann a third. Vicente Guerrero, though, he is out on the track. Not quite up to speed, but he does have help now with Anthony English. Here comes Bubba Winningham coming around Schroeder, so Bubba will be back on the lead lap. Stephen Miles right there, he's got the 43 of Dana Shepherd, who's still showing 1 lap down. Stephen Miles right all over the bumper of Dana Shepherd, using him to try to separate the group. Zonto, Guerrero, English, Sanchez, Schroeder, Adam Kilday. Shows Adam, I think, is a lap down as well. Looks like Chris Jordan, Brandon Piper have both taken their cars behind pit wall. Done for the evening. Now 5 is all, talking about 5, that is Sanchez. He is all over the bumper, was all over the bumper of that 6 of Bubba Winningham. So we have the 5 and 6 right there together. Now, I did like San Antonio. That's a fun city. Riverwalk down in that area. We had a good time down there. Of course, when you're young and soldiers, we were down there for the July 4th weekend. Of course, you know, through the summer, and we got a 3-day pass for that weekend. Let us go off post, and we ended up having some pretty good parties back in that day. I think we ended up going to EST, Texas. We had a big 4th of July celebration out there. Our motel was basically right across the street, so we jumped on the walking trail. I think we went under the highway over there, because there was a big water park and Fiesta, Texas, all right there together. But these guys are just jumping back and forth. They're having a little problem off those corners. We got some pretty good separation here, folks. Got Mark Mann back here to Thomas Lockwood, about 16 seconds behind that front group. Rick Seabrand's Gabe Butler, he is back here about 10 seconds behind Seabrand's. And we got Andy Brigante and Dave Hunt together. They're 12 seconds behind Gabe. They are a lap down, so here comes that lead group. They are catching up with those guys. Winningham, though, he's trying to get his lap back. Got the 48 up, Andrew Schroeder right behind him. The 43 of Shepard right there in front of the 8 of Stephen Miles. Again, I'm really shocked that we haven't seen more netcode here, because iRacing Superspeedway is known for having some pretty bad netcode. So Winningham, Crosby, Kilday, Doug Johnson, Jeff Crosby Sr., Jimmy Reynolds all a lap down, Nick Wing a lap down. Rod Walters looks like he's going to stay down on pit road. Brandon Pfeiffer out and Chris Jordan out. Mark Mann, I seen Mark Mann said he was coming down pit road. He came off of pit road. Mark is on the lead lap. Thomas Lockwood, Rick Sebrands, Gabe Butler. Yeah, those three guys on the lead lap now. They're coming past the start-finish line. Trying to see who that... oh, that's Nick Wing. He is with that group right there. Nick is 2 laps down, as well as Jimmy Reynolds in the 17 machine. Looks like Ron did take his car behind the wall. He is done for the night. Again, we got to give another big shout out to Vicente Guerrero for sponsoring tonight's race. Vince's Service and Repair. Oh, Bubba Winningham getting shoved up to that high side. There goes Dana Shepard down to the pit road. Jimmy Reynolds going with him. So we're definitely got some separation of the field. Ah, okay. We are lap 52 of 84, folks. We are about 33 laps to the finish here. Get some good green flag runs this time. Here comes Stephen Miles, Andrew Uzanto, the 6 of Bubba Winningham, Adam Kilday. They are trying to get it shut down. Jeff Crosby Sr. down on pit road. Doug Johnson coming off up pit road. So is Jimmy Reynolds, maybe. Jimmy's still down on pit road. There he goes. Vicente Guerrero, now your leader. Everlane in second. Andrew Schroeder third. Anthony English in fourth. Rick Sanchez in fifth. James Mayer in sixth. Mark Mann in seventh. Now Gabe Butler is going to go a lap down. Here comes that lead group. Oh, big! Can they save it? No, we're going to have a wreck coming into pit road as Vicente Guerrero gets tagged coming down pit road. Let's take a rewind here, folks, and look at this. Right there. We see that is the 13 of Andy Brigante and the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr. jockeying for position. And then that just collected the 14, the 5, down scraping the wall. Mark Mann or Anthony English there trying to avoid it. And I don't know if the 33 was trying to straighten out Vicente. And then here comes the 88 of Gabe Butler. He dodges that mess. That's going to cause Zente to lose some spots. James Mayer, though, is your leader. Mark Mann in a second. Andrew Schroeder's down coming off of pit road. So here comes James and Mark. Mark driving it way down to that inside line. They get it shut down. That's going to put Andrew Schroeder right now in third. We see the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds flying by that group. Andrew Schroeder, 43 seconds. That don't make no sense. That's Mark Mann and them coming back out. Now they're gaining, Santo gaining ground on James Mayer and Mark Mann. Wow. Halfway point at 90 minutes, 4 cars left. Now they're dealing with lap traffic with Jimmy Reynolds right there, Andrew Zonto, Stephen Miles. They get around the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds, as well as the other lead group, kind of watching to make sure that Mark Mann and James Mayer get hooked up coming down the front straightaway. Now they're closing the distance on the lead group. Some of these guys that are lapped down, or that are a lap down, kind of hoping for a caution. Got 7 cars that are lapped down. Then we got Jimmy Reynolds 2 laps down. Jeff Crosby Sr., he is coming down pit road. He's going to be 4 laps down. It looks like Jimmy Reynolds is, 2 laps down. Here we go, 3 wide. That is the 13 of Andy Brigante on the outside of Adam Kilday in the middle. And Andrew Zonto down on that low line. Rick Sanchez there in that second line, as well as Zonto gets pushed down to the apron. Comes back up to the racing. So still on the outside, still 3 wide up here at the front. Now Brigante is a lap down. He's trying to get back on the lead lap the hard way, but he has no help out there with him. Now the 24 of Everett Lane jumping up to that second line. Want to try to get a push around on the 8 of Stephen Miles. Gets pushed by the 5 as they come into turns 1 and 2. That's going to drop me. And we're going to get a 2-for-1 here as Everett and Rick get pushed out to the front of Miles. As we come out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Everett Lane Sanchez in second, Miles in third. Schroeder fourth, English in a fifth. Santos 6th, Mann in 7th, Mayer in 8th, Guerrero in 9th, Lockwood in a 10th, and Seabrands in 11th. All on 11 cars on the lead lap here. Dave Hunt, Adam Kilday, Andy Brigante, Jeff Crosby Jr., Gabe Butler, Bubba Whittingham all a lap down. And we're going to have a caution here as the 48 of Andrew Schroeder and James Mayer get tangled up. Let's take a look as Mayer is smoking right now. Well, it took me to Andrew Schroeder, so let's get a look at the far chase here. Oh, right there we see the 13 of Brigante. He's trying to get some side draft. And the 48 comes up, gets into the 13. They go up to the high side, and around goes the 48. I think the 95 just happened to be a victim of circumstance here. Mark Mann going down, and the 95 right into the passenger side of the 48. Well, that gets them turned around. And that brings out, I think that is only our second caution. Belva, I know you've been keeping count. That's either our second or third caution. Again, with SDK, I do not have a caution counter, and I didn't take notes here tonight, folks. All right, guys, we are going to step aside for just a second, play a couple commercials and pay a few bills, but we will be right back.
Sizzling summer savings are yours for the taking at North Louisiana's #1 dealer, Chevyland. Save now before the price adjustments kick in. Get up to $9,000 off MSRP on select new Silverado models or incredible 0% financing on select new Chevrolet vehicles. And the Chevyland Advantage, 12 months, no charge scheduled maintenance. Get the best deals at North Louisiana's #1 dealer, Chevyland. Your Silverado headquarters. Online at Chevyland.com.
All right, well, guys, I am back, and I have just found something on my SDK that shows me whether or not they got black flags. Right now, James Mayer's got a meatball flag. Andy Brigante's got a black flag as well. So, let me look here to see. I'm not seeing anything that shows a caution count. I believe this is only our second caution of the race. So we're going to go ahead and look at our top drivers right now. Stephen Miles is your leader. Anthony English down on pit road in a second. Everett Lane in third. Thomas Lockwood fourth. Vicente Guerrero actually moving to fourth. Thomas Lockwood fifth. Rick Sanchez back in sixth. Andrew Zonto seventh. Mark Mann's going to get jumped up there to sixth. Andrew Schroeder coming back down pit road once again. Ooh, I don't know if I could do raisins in my meatballs there, Eric. Sorry about that. I was sending a message. But we are 22 laps to go, folks. We started using A1. My wife started using A1 steak sauce and Worcestershire sauce in her meatloaf, and it is so good. Chevyland green flag back out. Here we go. 22 to go. Gonna finish this one up, hopefully on a green flag. We've had some great green flag runs. Now, whether or not they hit it, it doesn't matter. They will not be able to make it to the end of the race. You know what? People give me a hard time because I will use A1 on my steaks, even though after I've marinated them and seasoned them. I don't know, just something about I just love the taste. Raisin pie. I don't know if I can do that either. Oh, Doug Johnson with the black flag. Not sure what that was about, but he did get a black flag. May have got a black flag for unsafe pit exit. Come down the front straightaway, Stephen Miles going to lead the back straightaway, I should say. I think we were on the back straightaway. Could have been the front straight. As we are 20 to go, we're going to wind this down. Hopefully, again, on a green flag run. There goes Adam Kilday down pit road. Again, they are not going to have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. Dana Shepard, though, is a lap down. He is trying to get his lap back. Yeah, I would. A1's made from raisins? Really? Oh, we got a caution here, folks. Andrew Zonto with a meatball. Adam Kilday was down on pit road at the time, so he'll probably get that black flag cleared. I'm not sure. Let's take a look and see what happened. Was right here with Andrew Zonto. Zonto there, you see that he is, he just starts getting loose right there on the corner as he drops down. That's going to send him up the track, and then bam, right into that outside wall and spun around. I don't know if anybody else got involved in that. That did bring out, well, that is definitely our third caution of the night. As Andrew's got a meatball flag, and as I expected, Adam's black flag did get cleared because he was already down pit road when the caution came out. Of course, Adam does still have quite a bit of damage. Stephen Miles, though, your leader. Anthony English in second. Everett Lane in, well, down on pit road. It's not going to matter. It's how they come off of pit road. But all these guys down on pit road is Vicente Guerrero. He is coming out of pit road. Looks like Dana Shepherd. Still going to be a lap down. Gabe Butler, though, right now. Looks like Gabe may be back on the lead lap. Adam Kilday, though, he is a lap down. Douglas Johnson, a lap down. Dana Shepherd, a lap down. Bubba Whittingham, a lap down. Nick Wing, a lap down. Andrew Zonto still down on pit road. James Mayer, 2 laps down. You know what? I like oysters though, if they're cooked, if they're done right. And I'll tell you, there's a restaurant down here in the town just to the south of me called Eufaula. It's actually what the lake is named after. There's a place here called Captain John's, and I never thought that I would really like them, but they have a Cajun boil. You get crab, shrimp, mussels, sausage, corn on the cob, and potatoes. I never thought I would like mussels. I just thought, they're mussels. I'm thinking of, the mussels you get out of the lake. But no, they're actually really, really good, especially with the Cajun boil in it. It's really good. Let's go through our field here. Stephen Miles, your leader. English in second. Sanchez in third. Guerrero fourth. Hunt in fifth. Mark Mann in sixth. Lockwood in seventh. Everett Lane in eighth. Crosby Jr. ninth. Rich Seabrands in at 10th. Schroeder in 11th. Butler down on pit road in 12th. Kilday in 13th. Johnson in 14th. Shepard 15th. Bubba Winningham 16th. Wing in 17th, Mayer in 18th. Uh-oh. Well, Andrew, not the night you wanted, buddy. What happened?
I have no idea. I've been watching the replay constantly, and I just don't know how I got loose.
It looked like the rear end just kind of snapped on you there, and of course, I don't know if net code could have played a factor. Of course, iRacing is bad about that as the Chevrolet green flag is back out. Excuse me.
But I'm happy to join in the booth.
Well,
help you make the call.
Yeah, well, glad to have you up here as always. Could always use the help. Had some good green flag runs there too, Andrew. So we had some green flag pit stops, a little bit of shenanigans going on coming into pit road a couple of times, but really, it's been a great race. I think that was only our third or fourth caution of the night.
And I was 2 of them. You're welcome.
So we can blame you for 2 of them for sure.
Maybe.
Well, man, how did the cars feel out there tonight? I mean, I know the track temperature and the air temperature was a lot lower than what we're used to on Saturday night, for one, which makes the cars take a lot longer to heat up, and of course, we're gonna have our 5th caution, and this might be a big one, guys. As Vicente Guerrero, Dave Hunt, Jimmy Reynolds, Jeff Crosby Sr., who else? Andrew Schroeder, all involved in that. Let's take a look here at our Maxspeed TV. Rewind here, and we can see it happened up here in the middle up here with Vicente, or around Vicente. We'll back it up just a little bit. And that's one thing we always say, you can't really push the pusher, especially at a track like this, Andrew.
But then it also looked like it was a hard bump with Vicente into Anthony. So it was all an accordion effect. And of course, Vincent was in the short end of the deal.
Well, I mean, when you're hooked up like that, yeah, it was, you know, a push on the pusher. And that set Vicente up, comes back down into the 53, into the 38. But somehow Bubba Winningham, as you see in the foreground, the 38, the 48, nowhere for him to go, right into Vicente, the 4, getting caught up in it. Doug Johnson down on the grass, I believe.
Yeah, you got to check James Mayer's point of view.
Well, let's go ahead and go into, let's rewind it here. We're got to stop it first. And we're going to go to a helmet cam. We are on board with James Mayer. James is trying to find a hole to squeeze through.
It's through those guys, but then...
How did he miss Doug? Wow, how close was that?
If there was an award for luckiest driver in a race, give it to James.
Wow, I do not know. And how in the world did Doug Johnson? He is currently in that top spot.
I don't know. Normally, I've learned from experience twice tonight. You hit the wall, you're done. You use your fast repair.
Yeah, and you know you use it early, you know, and you get caught up in something, you're definitely done.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. James Mayer is a lap down, so he should. Well, no, Bubba Winningham is the first car a lap down, so Bubba should get the lucky dog. And if James stays out, he will get the wave around, I believe. Let's go ahead. Where is? I'm going to bring him up here real quick. Hey, James Steve up in the booth, buddy. Got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you need a new fire suit?
I might.
How in the world did you miss just absolute first-degree murder on Doug Johnson?
Yeah, I didn't see who that was, but you know, I got him in my field of vision at the last second there. I have no idea how I missed him, but yeah, a little bit of luck.
Okay. Well, I've got Andrew up here, and Andrew, do you want to tell James what you said?
Look, if there's a driver award for luckiest driver, you just got it. If you go to win this race, remember that. We're going to start putting that in the series.
I'm going to need some more luck. I only got a couple laps of fuel left here, so I'm going to need either a pretty quick caution or something else to happen.
Well, hey, brother, it's iRacing Superspeedway where anything can happen. Good luck, my friend.
All right, thanks.
Wow. Again, yeah, I would have needed a new fire suit after that one.
Absolutely.
Well, Andrew, before we take a quick commercial break, Belva's watching out there. Look who is in that top spot. Well, it said he was in the top spot, but he is up on the front row, Belva. I'm not naming names, but Bella knows who I'm talking about.
Good old Ricky Sanchez.
Hey, I can't say that. Now, see, if something happens, it's Andrew's fault right there. I didn't say it. Hey, yeah, the pace car. Yeah, thanks, Eric. Well, there goes the pace car. As we get ready to go back green, 11 laps to go, be 10 at the line. That's Chevyland green flag back out in the air once again. Here we go on the loud pedal. And the guy we don't want to talk about is got a great jump there, Andrew. Now, on these restarts, is that just, I mean, how do they get those good jumps?
It's more about timing because they changed the rules up in different years. Sometimes it's on leader, sometimes it's on the flagman. Other times it's just whoever is leader, whatever they decide. So it's more on just timing it. Normally, if you have really good drivers in front of you, they'll time it pretty well and they'll jump. Sometimes with me, I kind of back up a little further and I kind of get an early jump. Because definitely when it comes to these restricted tracks that we're at, it takes full-on concentration, full-on, being on that guy's ass in front of you to, pull away from like the top two guys below you.
Right. Well, of course, you call this a restrictor plate track, but these guys, we're 240 miles an hour. I don't think there's much of a restrictor plate at this track.
Yeah. Frankly, I call this race the wild card of the wild cards. They all call restrictor plate racing wild card races. iRacing Superspeedway is that track to where it's absolutely wild. You don't know what's going to happen with the temperatures. It's going to vary if the car's going to be loose all race or it's going to be tight. With me, it's just depending on how you turn the wheel, and my car faced that twice tonight.
Yep. Well, Bubba Winningham, James Mayer, and Doug Johnson all down pit road. Anthony English, though, is out front. Steve Miles hooked up to his bumper. And we are 8 to go as that number 5. Ooh, we got a car. That's Everett. Is that Thomas Lockwood? That was Thomas Lockwood jumping way out there. So is Rick Seabrands.
Yeah, it's strategy.
I don't know. Either that or they see something they didn't like in front of them. But we're back up at the front. English down on the low line with Miles. That is Hunt. And Butler back up towards the front. Then we got Sanchez, Mann, Lane, and Kilday. Kilday back on the lead lap. They are out on that second line right now. Dana Shepard is back on the lead lap as well up here in the top 10. As they come around James Mayer now, that puts James a lap down. Ooh, I see something back here. What did I see? Almost looked like somebody. But no, they're still going. Now, as 8 of Miles jumps out in front of Sanchez, trying to get that push out there. Lockwood, Seabrand still out on that third line. Is that going to have is Miles going to have enough there of a push to get around English? But what I was going to ask you, Andrew, that lower line, is that the line to be in, or can you make that second line run with more cars?
I mean, again, is it based on preference? It's based on, who's around you. If you're on the bottom, you're definitely you're going to go the fastest.
Whoa. Yeah, Anthony and Miles getting kind of hooked up there. What a great save. Now we got a 3-for-1 here with Sanchez, Mann, and Lane dropping it down to the inside line. Now go ahead and finish your thought there, sir.
So when you're on the bottom, you tend to get a little bit more tighter, and then the car wants to bounce up more on entry into the turn. So, which kind of caused me to wreck twice. But when you're in that second lane, you can lift off the gas a little bit, and you don't really need to move. because you have more room. You basically have the room that's above the car below you, and you have all the way up to the wall. But when you're on the bottom, you have the yellow line and how far up that second car is from that second lane.
Yeah, as we're watching now, Stephen Miles did get to push around to the 24. There was actually enough room for the 85 to drop down there, but oh, come on, hang on to it, fellas. What a save. Another great save, but
One foot wide, and
Yeah.
you had to say something.
I did, and that's going to bring out our 5th caution of the night here. Anthony English getting involved with that with Everett Lane. Let's take a look.
Rick Sanchez was not a part of it. The curse is free.
Well, Thomas Lockwood having a meatball flag on that one. Well, let me get to my we're going to go to a far chase here. We'll rewind this a little bit. We'll go back a little bit further because this is where it started to get a little bit dicey here with Everett Lane and Stephen Miles. See Everett kind of getting off center of Miles, and he scrapes that bumper. Well, that sends Everett up into the 44, the 85, maybe a bunch of net code right there too, Andrew. But we're going to look back here because the 38 of Thomas Lockwood. As the 8 comes up on the racing surface, Sanchez right there, Gabe Butler dropping down. Ooh, was that? I don't think that was net code between Butler. No, they did make contact of Butler and Sanchez. So that sent Butler up right into the 38. The 38 hard into the wall. And then unfortunately got bumper hooked right there with Sanchez and English. Well, that sends English down into the 24. Of course, the 38 was still up on that high side.
I feel bad for Lockwood. I mean, he's been fast. He's been there up front, but he's just been getting a lot of bad luck.
Yes, he has. And Thomas Lockwood with the black flag, probably coming down pit road. And no, he's on the lead lap, so it would have been an entering close pit, probably speeding on pit road. Well, this will be a regulation GWC here, Andrew. Adam Kilday, your leader. Stephen Miles in a second. Gabe Butler third. Rick Sanchez in fourth. Mark Mann fifth. Dave Hunt in sixth. Vicente Guerrero seventh. Dana Shepard in eighth. Rick Seabrands in ninth. And Everett Lane rounding out your top 10. We're going to go ahead and step aside real quick, folks, but we will be right back.
Sizzling summer savings are yours for the taking at North Louisiana's #1 dealer, Chevyland. Save now before the price adjustments kick in. Get up to $9,000 off MSRP on select new Silverado models or incredible 0% financing on select new Chevrolet vehicles. And the Chevyland Advantage, 12 months, no charge scheduled maintenance. Get the best deals at North Louisiana's #1 dealer, Chevyland. Your Silverado headquarters. Online at Chevyland.com.
we are back, folks. GWC regulation, GWC attempt here as we get ready to go back green. Andrew was just giving me a, well, I guess Nick,
Real life now.
yeah, real life NASCAR update. You want to go ahead and update everybody there, Andrew?
Yep, it's almost 20 laps to go, and Austin Dillon is leading with 2 races left to go before the actual playoffs start. And Ryan Blaney is in second, about 3 seconds back.
Where is my boy Christopher Bell at?
Christopher Bell. Well, let me tell you this. He is not even in the top 20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I probably got caught a lap down. He's 21st a lap down.
And where they're at Bristol, right?
They're at Richmond.
Richmond. Okay.
Now, if you want a good Saturday night off, which I think personally we should take next Saturday off, watch Daytona, 7 o'clock Eastern time on NBC. Woo! Final race before the playoffs. It's going to be fun.
Well, here we go. Getting ready to go back green. Chevy Lane green flag back out once again. GWC regulation. GWC attempt here as Kilday down on the inside. Miles on the outside with Sanchez. We got Butler, Mann, Guerrero, Sebrands, and Winningham on that low line. And then we got Hunt. That's Shepard right now on the outside. Here comes Everett Lane and James Mayer. Now James is still a lap down. We come down the back straightaway, folks. We will be white flag next time by. And then at that point, Andrew, it's just whatever happens.
Oh, we got a caution.
Already, well, that's going to bring out our yellow flag. Let's take a look here and see. That happened right there with Thomas Lockwood as he has a meatball flag. And that is the 21 of Nick Wing. It looks like Nick just gave him a shove, a little bit off center, and that sent Lockwood down. Lockwood tried to keep from getting into the 388 of Johnson. And that just sent Thomas up into the wall and around. A pretty hard impact. And then again.
As I stated before, Thomas Lockwood, he will have the fastest car out there in the whole field. He'll have the cleanest car, but there's just these moments. He gets hit with bad luck.
Well, and of course, these cars aren't the best cars to bump draft in either. They still have that issue where even if you hit them square, you hit them hard enough, that'll kind of push them to the left.
Yeah.
So we were hoping. Hey, Belva, no, don't even hush, shush, shush. We're not even talking about that no more. We're done with that. We got a GWC attempt number 1, official GWC attempt number 1 here. These guys are going to come down and get a splash of fuel. Stephen Miles opted to stay out. So did Vicente Guerrero. Track position was probably
the key.
Yeah, especially with, of course, they probably just took fuel, so there's no need to really take any fuel. Anthony English stayed out as well, so there's going to be your 1, 2, 3. Gabe Butler down on pit road. Sanchez is going to be the first one off of pit road. That's going to put him in P4. Kilday in 5th. Butler out in 6th. Shepard out in 7th. Hunt in 8th. Everett Lane out in 9th. Mark Mann out in 10th. Sebrands in 11th. Now Wing coming out in 12th. James Mayer back on the lead lap, Andrew. So this may have been the lucky spot that he needed.
He did. He had a hit after, I think, 2 cautions ago or 3 cautions ago after getting the free pass. Went back a lap down, got the lucky dog to come back. And Hey, he's got a shot. He can do it.
You never know. It's like we were talking to Mark pre-race, or during the interview. Of course, I think a lot of it was Anthony English giving Mark a hard time for missing that first race. 3,321,245 points from the cut line. Mark was like, I don't know.
Doesn't matter how far you're back. You win it, yeah. You go to the next round.
You win it, you're in it. So here we go. That's what I told him. I said, hey, you win it, you're in it. You can overcome that 3 million point deficit. Again, that was just Anthony ribbing Mark, though. Mark is only 33 points out of the cut going into round 8. But we got one more race, though, of the round of 16, Andrew. So, anything can happen. I mean, we're at Atlanta, which I think Atlanta is one of Mark's better tracks. But Anthony English, I think, has won both Atlanta races that we run this season.
Honestly, it's going to be an interesting race. First off, it's going to be interesting to see how many people show up. That's thing number one, because tonight's probably the smallest field that we've had all season long at 25 drivers. Normally we hit an average of 33, 35 drivers. So it's going to depend on how many people show up and then who gets that victory.
Hey, yeah, and you never know. I mean, next week we could have 40 drivers. You just never know what we're going to get on a Saturday night, especially in the middle of summer. Which, I mean, I know school has started back up. At least some of the local schools around here have started back up. So,
Too early.
Well, I'm glad both of my kids are grown. I'm fixing to have my third grandchild here in October, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah. Well, if anybody wants a quick race update, Austin Dillon's still leading, 5 laps to go, coming to 4, and Bowman's catching them.
All right, well, the pace car down off the pit road. That's Chevy Lane green flag up in the air and waving back green on the loud pedal. That is Miles down on the inside with English, Butler, Shepard. Then you got Guerrero, Sanchez, Kilday, Hunt, Mann, Seabrands. You think if we get a couple of cars together, we're going to see that third lane start to form up?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think it's going to be 2 lanes. People going to be shuffling together. It'll be a 3rd lane, but I don't think it's going to be.
Right now, that second line, though, with Guerrero getting pushed by the 5, making up some ground on this back straightaway. As we come into turns 3 and 4. Got to make it back. Oh, English up. Gets into the door of Guerrero. Oh, no, but the white flag is out already. Yes, it is. The white flag was in the air. They are going to finish this out as the
Look
big...
at Kilday! Come on, Kilday!
Kilday right there with Sanchez. English down on the inside. Here comes the 53 of Hunt as we come down the back straightaway. What is going to happen? Is that low line going to have enough momentum to outrun that second line? Now we got 3 wide here. I thought that was going to happen. That's Mark Mann and Everett Lane out on that 3rd line. Now we're going to go 4 wide here. Sanchez out front. Is he going to have enough to outrun these guys? He throws a bluff. He got it. Sanchez with the win up coming off of the wall. Gets a hard shot by the 44 of English. Gave him enough to get around and get the victory. Holy cow.
And we had a 7-wide finish. I never thought we would see that.
Well, guys, we are going to get on. We're going to rewind this because this is unbelievable. What a finish. You're going to see Sanchez. He's going to move up in front of Anthony. Anthony hits him off center, sends him up higher. Well, that pushes everybody up into Mark Mann. Mark gives him a shot. That was just enough to get him around Anthony for the win. Anthony in second. Mark Mann finishing third. What a wild finish here at iRacing
one of the best
Super
finishes all
Speedway.
year.
Yes, it was. Well, hang tight, folks, because we are going to get our top three up here for the Maxspeed TV post-race interview as we watch that number 5 of Rick Sanchez burn that car to the ground. We will be back in just a minute. All right, folks, we are back after a wild finish. We're going to catch up with our top three here tonight, and we will start with our third place finisher, Mark Mann. Buddy, you almost overcame that 3 million point deficit, but what a finish. I mean, you guys was just, y'all were just letting it all go right there at the last.
That was chaos. The last Green-White-Checker and the one before was just absolute chaos. It was survival, pretty much. I was hoping I had a little look at it there at the end. Everett went with me on that third lane. We were making something happen. I don't think I would have edged out Richard. I probably could have gotten second, but then chaos happened in front of me, and I gave Richard a good shot, got him over the line, and he got the win. So I'll take a third place. That'll help close that gap just a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Well, man, I mean, I don't know how you were able to do that, but I mean, you know, you were scraping the wall all the way across the start-finish line. But all in all, though, 84 laps, I think we had 5 total cautions. Really not a bad night of racing.
It wasn't bad. We had a lot of green flag pit stops, and it kind of broke up the field. You know, James Mayer and I there late, we were the best on fuel, and I think that he and I probably would have had something for them alone if that would have went green, but can't expect that at IRSS. There's always going to be some late chaos, and that's the way it worked. And then you're just kind of racing for it at the end, everybody taking every inch that they can and get whatever spot they can. And it was a good time. It was fun.
Well, Andrew, I'm going to go ahead and, do you have anything for Mark, buddy?
Santo.
Well, what's the plan going to be coming to your favorite track next week? Atlanta.
Oh my gosh. Well, Hot Atlanta, I'm not very good at, so I don't know, man.
What about Cold Atlanta?
Staying away from the net code, I suppose, because you already know it's what it's going to be. A lot of net coding. Everybody packed up, jammed up. It's going to be slick. It's going to be hot. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be the cutoff race. It's going to be everything that you expect in an OP cutoff race, and it's going to be fun, man. Get you back in team speak, so you're not up in the booth, which you do a really great job in the booth, anyways. So we appreciate you up there.
Thank you.
Well, Mark, again, that's going to give you some momentum going into next week. Now, of course, another thing at Atlanta is tire management, because we know Atlanta will eat your tires up. So
Well, this track did tonight too, by the way.
Oh yeah. Well, speaking of which, what was it doing?
My tires were chewed up. Basically, on those green flag pit stops, you had to sacrifice, that second or so to try to take right side tires. Otherwise, you weren't going to be taking them at all. And then you'd have to contend with that during the race. So I did take right side tires there once. Jim and I were barely able to get tagged up with the back of the pack. So it was worth it, though. If it would have went green, that would have benefited us. But didn't work out in our favor. And on to Atlanta.
All right. Well, Mark, at this time, and I'm on Anthony, but I should be on you because you were out of your car.
I was.
As we get ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic over to you. Any final thoughts, shout-outs, things you want to give before you go celebrate, buddy?
Yeah, OP, thank you guys, too, for broadcasting, and Andrew up in the booth with you, and everybody I raced with tonight, and everybody watching at home. And Mara, she's probably not awake. We've had a long weekend, and been out in the heat all day. She's probably sound asleep, which I will be right after this unless Andrew streams pay-per-view.
All right. All right. Well, Mark, go celebrate, buddy. Congratulations on your P3, and we will catch you next week, sir.
All right, man.
All right. Well, that is going to bring us to our second place finisher here tonight. Let me get on this chase view. Well, that's going to be the number 44 of Mr. Reliable of Anthony English. Anthony, what a wild finish. You guys are absolutely insane.
Yeah, that was pretty wild, wasn't it?
That was probably one of the wildest finish of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's playoff times. Just everybody going for it there at the end.
Well, let's talk a little bit about it. I mean, you were able to stay pretty much clean the whole race. You were right there out towards the front and up front most of the race. We were talking about tire wear at the beginning of the race. I know Mark said that it was really eating the right sides up quite a bit, but how was it working for you?
I mean, it wasn't too bad. We went through the first half of the race without taking tires until we had that wreck after the long green flag. I think then we took some tires, at least some matching tires. And there was enough going on those last 30, 40 laps that there was a couple different times I ended up taking tires in that time. So it wasn't too much of a concern at the end as much as it was like the middle of the race. Like if it would have stayed green, it would have been a lot more of a different beast.
Well, we were talking about the quality of the race tonight. I think we had 5 total cautions altogether, which is really good compared to what we've seen in the past. But as a driver and as an admin, how happy was you with the race tonight?
It seemed like a pretty good race. Anytime where you can get a good couple or more green flag pit stops and run in a night, usually it's a pretty good successful night. And I know we had our rash of stuff more at the end here, but you got to expect that too. During the playoff time, everybody's trying to get what they can and do what they can point wise, and stuff happens at that point.
Well, and like you said, at the end of the race, postseason, your playoff season here, and guys are just trying to jockey for that position to get as much points as they can. Because we're a three race round of 16. Points do matter. We kind of seen that tonight. But man, what a great finish by you guys tonight. Andrew, you got anything for Anthony?
I mean, well, what's it going to be for next week? Because you're going to need a win, probably. But so does your teammate Mark. Who's going to push who?
I think Mark needs it more than anybody, and it would always fall down to the same thing. Like tonight, like I feel bad for what happened to Miles and Vicente, because we were just going to sit behind them and push them and push them hard and stuff like that. And I think I got an off-center push on Miles coming out of the corner, and he ended up killing them both. So I hate that for him. But, just the same thing next week. Just depends on where you end up at the end of the race. If you're lucky enough to be in the lead, you're hoping the guy behind you is pushing hard. And if you end up being, third or fourth, in one of those lanes pushing, you just hope to be doing the same thing and just being honest and pushing as hard as you can. And that's what I was trying to do that for Steven and stuff. I was just praying that Steven and Vince had enough fuel to make it there at the end and stuff and all that. And then I ended up freaking turning Steven anyway, so I feel terrible about that. They definitely deserved a better finish than what they got tonight. But.
Well, all right. Well, Anthony, Atlanta, probably one of your better tracks. I think you won both Atlanta races that we've had this season. So definitely some momentum going into next week. Of course, I ask you the same thing. Tire wear at Atlanta is, taking care of your tires is primo.
Yeah, it turns into almost the same thing it is with this week with IRSS, where you get a little bit more of the ability to play with strategy with tires, when you take tires, how you take tires. Depending on what the track temp and everything ends up being, and how the fall off is, or what side's falling off and all that. So it ends up being, ends up being more of a strategic type style race, which I like. And plus, I just like the place in general. But we'll see how it turns out. I mean, it'll all, like I said, it'll all depend on how the temps and stuff is next week, how strategic it ends up being. But I think it'll be a good one, it's different ending the first round on Atlanta, so it's going to probably be pretty cutthroat next week.
Well, of course, it's going to come down to next week's race, cut to the final 8. But at this time, Anthony, buddy, congratulations on your P2, and the mic is yours. Any final thoughts, shout-outs, things you want to give?
Yeah, first off, you guys, Steven, Joshua, Jeremy, and Roy at Maxspeed TV for what you guys do. You guys are phenomenal every week in and out with your Mondays and Saturday broadcasts and stuff, and we love having you aboard. Or Thursday as well. We love having you aboard, and it's just awesome. I love watching the races back and seeing what goes on and all that jazz. Thank you, Andrew, for popping in at the end of the race and doing some stuff tonight. All the admins, everything that they do. With OP in general, and along with also with Saturday and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of heads in the pile here that do what they need to do to get stuff done. All the team guys running tonight took the top 3. Congrats on Rick on winning. Mark got 3rd. Good podium sweep there for the boys, and hopefully next week maybe we can get Mark a W and get him advanced and get the rest of us in there too. Adam had a good run. I think Adam finished 6th or something like that. So good team run at the end there. Shout out to Miles and Vince. Sorry for killing you. I apologize. I'll do all I can next week to try to help you guys stay up front and do what you need to do. I'm all about equality. I love them guys. I hate that they're mad at me for the way that ended and stuff like that. So all the families, friends watching, everybody home, Buttkicker, my beautiful girlfriend and dad, everybody who does what they do to make this possible. I think Vince sponsored tonight, so shout out to Vince for sponsoring tonight's race, and we'll catch everybody next week in Atlanta.
All right, Anthony, congratulations, buddy. Go celebrate, and we will talk to you probably, if you're there Monday, but if not, we'll see you next week, sir.
Sounds good. Thank you, man.
All right, well, that's going to bring us to the star of the show, which I guess he got tired of waiting on everybody and got out of his car. But
sorry, I was wanting to watch that replay.
Well, man, Rick, what a great finish. What a wild finish. You got that
That was
shove.
crazy.
Yeah, man, you got that shove from Mark, and that was just enough of the bump you needed to stay out in front of Anthony. I mean, 3,000 or 300ths of a second is what you got the win by. But man, what a great finish! What a wild finish for tonight.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I apologize to Anthony too, because I threw the block on him. But I was like I said at the beginning of the race, I had one foot on a banana peel and one foot out the door on this this playoff series here. So I really, really needed a good run or a win to stay in it. And you know, come to that. You're looking at that checkered flag. You pretty much do what you got to do. And I threw that block on him, and he got me sideways or into the wall there a little bit. And then I thought, well, I'm not going to get the win, but I'll get a good finish. Then I got a good bump again. I didn't know it was Mark who it was, but it was enough to shove me across the line there, and it was pretty crazy. I went back and looked at it.
Well, at first I thought it was Anthony that gave you the shot, but Anthony was the one that got you loose. And then Mark, you went up to that high side, got in that wall, and then Mark just pretty much just said, okay.
He punched me across.
Yeah, we're just going to punt Rick right up to the wind. But, you know, you were talking about 1 foot on the banana peel, one foot, you know, on the brake or whatever. But
out the door. Yeah.
Out the door, you know. But, you know, the wind you're in, and buddy, you're into the punt round of 8.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's what I needed. And so just look, get one of these other team members in there, Mark or Adam, whoever needs a push next week.
Well, definitely.
I may need a push next week.
Thanks, Rick. Andrew.
Well, you know, again, you know, Rick, you've been so close all season long, and you know, you got that win, got that monkey, the big monkey, off your back. Now I know you've had some good finishes throughout the season, but what a time to get your first. It's your first win of the season too.
Yeah, great, and it's great to have Chevyland on there again. Pulled out the Chevyland paint job, get them another win. Shout out to Bubba over there, and yeah, it was great. Loved it.
Well, Andrew, before we turn the mic over to Rick, you got anything for Rick tonight?
Well, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but now since you won, what's the plan for Atlanta?
Like I said, Atlanta, got to see who might be on the bubble, a team member, and help them out. Other than that, you know, my goal is always the top 5. And then when it comes down to it, if I see an opening to go grab a win, then I do it.
Okay.
Well, all right, Rick. So the mic is yours, brother. Congratulations on the win. But any final thoughts, shout-outs, thanks you want to give?
Shout out to you guys always over here at Maxspeed TV. Love these broadcasts, and the fam likes watching it. And shout out to OP, obviously. Putting on a great series. Shout out to the family over there. They're watching me, supporting me. And shout out to the team guys that I run with. Shout out to Mark, that big push at the end. And sorry that it ended for Vinny and Steve like that. You know, rather finish clean. And but shout out to them guys.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and read you a couple things out here that was posted in chat. Belba it says that, oh, Lord, now I can breathe again. Netspeed says, good push, Mr. Man. Thanks a bunch. And Charles Sanchez says, way to make your own luck, bro. Love you, man. So
that's great.
Definitely got some fans out there, Rick. Well, congratulations, buddy. And, you know, looking forward to seeing you next week for the final race at Atlanta. So we're going to let you go celebrate, and we will see you next week, my friend.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Well, all right. Well, Andrew, thanks a bunch, buddy, for coming up here with me tonight to finish this race out. Man, hopefully next week will be a better run for you. And, man, I just, you know, just the help up here, you don't know how much it means.
Of course. Anytime. Look, messages are open. If you want me to be there for a Monday night race or for a Thursday night race, I'm right here.
Well, all you got to do is let me know, buddy. You're always welcome up here.
Always.
Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. We're going to go ahead and get to our results here tonight. Our Maxspeed TV OP, a Saturday Night Unlimited Series presented by Buttkicker. Rick Sanchez, your winner. Anthony English finishing in that P2 spot, and Mark Mann rounding off then third for your final podium. Dave Hunt finishing fourth. Gabe Butler in fifth. Adam Kilday sixth. Everett Lane in seventh. Dana Shepard with a good top 10 finish here tonight after being a couple of laps down. So good job by Dana to get back up on the lead lap. Nick Wing in 9th. Vicente Guerrero finishing out in that 10th spot. Stephen Miles finishing 11th. Rick Seabrands in 12th. James Mayer in 13th. Doug Johnson 14th. Bubba Winningham 15th. Jeff Crosby Sr. in 16th. Jimmy Reynolds in 17th. Thomas Lockwood 18th. Jeff Crosby Jr. in 19th. Andrew Schroeder finishing 20th. Andrew Zonto, my co-broadcaster for the last part of the race here, in 21st. With some major damage. Not the best night for Andrew, but hey, he's going to bounce back, I promise you guys. Andy Brigante finishing 22nd. Ron Walters 23rd. Brandon Pfeiffer 24th. And Chris Jordan in 25th, rounding out your 25-car field. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight here on Maxspeed TV. I want to thank everybody out there in YouTube land for tuning in. Eric W., Belva, Netsby, Charles, Brendan Kennedy, I know, was out there looking to see. Of course, Andrew, again, Andrew coming into the chat, into the booth with me. Appreciate that very much.
Of course.
Let's see, am I missing anybody?
Oh, so can I just say one thing?
Sure.
Just a quick thoughts and prayers to a buddy of mine, Austin. I work with him along with Garrett Caswell in the Challenger Series. He was in a terrible accident today, and wish him the best.
Oh, man, well, we do the same here at Maxspeed TV. Don't know the guys, but, of course, we're a tight-knit group here with OP and all of the series that we run, so... of course, everybody here at Maxspeed TV also sending our thoughts and prayers to them as well. But we're going to go ahead and finish up. Daniel Postlag out there tuning in as well. I've seen him out there in chat. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it that tuned in tonight. So, well, Andrew, thanks again a bunch, buddy. We're going to go ahead and call it a night. I got a fishing trip planned for tomorrow because there is no broadcast tomorrow night for the Checker Flag Motorsports. They are in recruiting season right now, so they'll have some recruitment races going on for the next couple of weeks, and then we will start back with them. So until, let's see, Monday night, we will be back live. So until Monday, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe and have a good night.